What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, redoptionagency.com. 22 years selling full-time on eBay. I wanted to try a little something different today. I'm like, you know what? I want to goof around for a little bit. So I got on Google Earth. And you know what? How about we take a stroll around the neighborhood I grew up in? You guys know I've talked a lot about where I grew up and what have you. And what you can see right here is the actual apartment I grew up in, 2239. I don't know when this picture, the street view was done in, but I lived in this apartment with my parents and my sister from 1971 to 1991. So it was a 3-room apartment. This whole place was filled with cockroaches at the time. It was pretty run down. We had the plaster falling off the ceilings and the floors, and it was just a run-down place. Right here is the basement window. I used to have a little spot I made in the basement, my little room. But you can't get to the basement from the inside, so like we didn't sleep down there at night unless all of us were hanging out and something like that, like a bunch of friends. So, but anyway, this is the neighborhood I grew up in. One of my lifelong friends who I grew up with was Daiquiri, and him and his mom lived in this house right here, right across the street. This house, I want to say this house at the very beginning, this house, and this house that's blurted out now, were all the same family members, all the same, from all the same family. But I used to ride my bike up and down these streets. But the place we used to hang out the most is in the alleys. So let's see what it looks like. Oh, okay, here we go. Let me see where I'm at here. Okay, this is like grown over since back in my day. This house right here was another friend I grew up with. It was me, Daiquiri, and Steve were always hanging out. And Steve here, he had the money of the neighborhood. He actually had one of those metal trough pools that we used to always swim in. The dumpster that was here was always our goalpost for soccer. When we played soccer back here, of course, we popped mini balls on those things sticking out. So back here, it looks a lot different. Like this was the only garage back here when I lived here. These were all open yards with the old metal fences. Like this wasn't here. And this was the backyard. And the fence wasn't here either. For most of the time we were there, this was all yard. And we'd play wiffle ball back here. And the way we kind of played it was, if you made it out into the alley, it was a double. And if you made it into the yards, it was a home run. But this is the apartment right here. This is the door right here. But we used to just ride our bikes, hang out in the alleys and stuff. Ooh, there's some junk. Ooh, let's see if there's anything good there to sell. There's some wood. There's a coffee table. Look at me still going through the dumpsters. These are the alleys we grew up in, picking in the dumpsters and what have you. This alley over on the other side of the street here was Compton Heights, where we used to, where the people with money in the neighborhood, within the area, I should say, lived. So we'd always pick the dumpsters there. Let's see, yeah. A lot greener than I remember. This used to be, it might still be a laundromat. I'm not sure. This was a bar that some people in the neighborhood owned. This used to be a hardware store over here on the corner. the local candy store. Used to walk down to Mrs. B's, who was right here, pick up our candy, get our now and laters and our hot pickles. Another friend we grew up with, well, after high school, lived down here. We actually met in high school, even though he lived that close. We never met before high school. This never used to be there either. Roundabout. But man, we used to just run these streets. I'm trying to think if there's anything around here I can remember memorable. Let's go down and go up California. I forgot the streets. California and Nebraska were the two streets we'd go down to get out of this area. That was the one I was just going down, and the other one is right here. So, remember, this used to be an old garage that they used to have a lot of cars parked out here and stuff, and I remember always loving walking by here, looking at the cars and what have you. We're gonna run this line. Oh, it's green. We can go through. We're just going on down. Here's Arsenal. Let's go down to Jefferson, see what Jefferson looks like now. Right here. Used to be a burger chef here that turned into a Hardee's. The old donut shop was over here. This is Benton Park. We used to swim in it in the middle of the night. Stinky, dirty, dead fish, dead bodies. Coming down onto Cherokee Street. I think, was it a grocery store? I think was here. National, maybe. Don't remember exactly. Or was it Hood's Furniture Store? I don't know. Could have been a couple of different things. And here we are at Cherokee Street. Let's blurt it out there. Huh. I don't know. This is a street back in the 80s was like the big shopping area, and my mom and I would walk down here if she needed anything. So there'd be places like Globe Drugs, Woolworths, just a bunch of different like hip clothing places at the time in the 80s and what have you. I love the old buildings still standing down here. This is where Woolworth was at the time. It's a Mexican grocery store now. Used to be an ice cream place right here, a little walk-up ice cream place. This used to be Record Exchange, where I bought my first CDs from. Levels STL. Boom, boom. Let's see, where am I going? Oh, we got Compton here. Go back up to my high school. Roosevelt High School is right up here at Gravois in Compton. Right here on the left. So here's the high school, Roosevelt. Let's go down to South Grand. Going back and forth on the street, one side to another. This was the bank that my parents used to bank at. There used to be, I think, right back here, there was an old skate shop back in the 80s. And we'd come down here and buy Chinese stars. If you don't know what they are, they're just like circular star type of things that are sharp. They're like knives. I think it was right here, I believe. If I remember correctly. There, or yeah, I think it was there. Then after we got kicked out of the other where I grew up, some new owners came in and they wanted to fix everything up. And we were the second to the last people to get kicked out. The last person was an elder lady, which made sense, you know, let her stay there as long as they could. So we moved down to Junietta and Morganford. And that was kind of an upgrade because we went from a 3-room apartment to a 4-room apartment. The cool thing about this one was you could actually access the Hartford. Junietta was one over here. You could actually access the basement from the inside, which was cool. So this should be Junietta. Yep. I forget what school that is. By the time we moved here, I was 19 turning 20. And it's this next block up here. Boom, boom, one more up. And it was right here. Go back a little bit. Right here. So 4220, was it 28? Yeah, I think so. 4220, what was it? Yeah, 4228 Junietta. So that was that. Then we got Morganford. We used to come up to the 7-Eleven and play pinball. drive this route. By this time, I'm able to borrow my dad's car more, and then I end up getting my first car while we lived there. Lived there from like 91 to about 96, I believe. We were there about 5 years. What the heck? Were you afraid to cross the bridge? Cross the bridge. Ooh, what was that van? No. Ooh, we got a little. Is that a Cutlass? Not sure. Try to tell by the tail lights. Used to be a mobile. I think it was mobile gas station was right here. Used to come flying around here. And there was another 7-Eleven that used to be right here. Used to be a Steak and Shake right here we had to eat at quite often, me and my friends. Ooh, let's go see if the record store is still here or if this was shot after. I'm curious about that. And that would be not my first job, but my favorite job at the time. Let's see how old these pictures are. So this coming up is Kings Highway. And we used to eat a lot of, me and my friends, at this Jack in the Box here. Flying down Chippewa. If the building's still here, it should be an FYE at this time, unless this was done after they tore the building down. I feel like I'm driving on the wrong side of the street. There we go. I have to remember that chant. The other side of the street might be a different day and a different time. So I have to remember that. So now we're coming up on Hampton where the store was. Let's see, from this view, it's already gone. It's a Chick-fil-A now. So this is a more recent photo. Let's check the opposite side of the street if we can. And still Chick-fil-A. All right. Boo. Hi, Pee-wee. What you doing? Did you enjoy your bath? We got Target there. McDonald's. They've been there forever. Just been rebuilt over the years. Coming down this way, that record exchange I told you on Hampton, they had moved down on Cherokee. They moved down on Hampton and then in a small spot, and then he grew it into this big old library up here. And this is the place where I bought out the back room several times of media. Whoops, I passed it up. No. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Yeah, I passed it up. No, it's right down here by this light. Yeah. Right here on the left. It's going to be a record exchange. See how big the place is. Used to be an old library. Right there. So got a lot of product from there over the years. You see the sign in the window, record exchange. Trying to think the best way up here. Then after the Junietta place, I'll show you where we moved to. Moved to this place where I helped pay half the rent, and my parents paid the other half. It's this light here. And no, it's down farther. I never used to cut down these streets very often. It's this light up here. Whoops, I went back out here. Yeah, this light. That's right. Because when I would come home from work, I would take this route. Loughborough. And this was actually a nicer area too, so it was kind of cool. More quiet area. So I was about 25. We only lived here for a year. I was 25 to 26. Got to cross over here. Ooh, that's cool. Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's cool. It's probably an SRT. Yeah, it looks like that SRT right there. Nice. Look at the colors, the pretty colors. Now we're coming up on Morgan Ford, but I think it changes name at this point. So it's still Morgan Ford, and it changes farther up, I guess. But right up here is where I lived for about a year. Past this street and right here in this house. Yeah, right here. And then we were there for a year, and then that's when my parents moved to my uncle's place. This is Carondelet Park. At that time, I moved out to Imperial with the girl I was with. And we moved into her parents' house until I got kicked out. And then I tried to move back with my parents at my uncle's house that we'll get to in a little bit here. But she wouldn't let me. So that was the time period where I slept in my car for a little bit. Because I had nowhere to go. And I wasn't making much money. So I couldn't afford anything on my own. And then when they did let me move back in here, or move in here, I should say, with them, this is where I had to stay in the attic that was unfurnished, unfinished. So if it was, freezing outside, it was freezing in the attic. If it was hot outside, it was boiling in the attic. So it was miserable, but hey, it was at least a roof over my head. And we're gonna go down here. What's up with that car? Dude, what is going on there? I have no idea. So yeah, so we're in Pennsylvania. And it's a cool house. I just had to stay in the attic. Right here on the corner. Right here. So that attic is where I stayed from like 97 to about 2000 in this attic right here. There was holes around the window, and squirrels would make their way in and they would nest in the walls. This looks like my cousin's car. So yeah, I guess this is probably after I moved my dad into here. Hell, this might even be after he passed by now. So I'm not sure which family members live in there. I know my cousin is, and probably some of her kids. My parents lived upstairs, and my uncle lived downstairs, and I stayed in the attic. Down here is South Broadway, where that might be one right there. Oh, I missed her. Say if you wanted a prostitute, this is the area. Now she don't look like a prostitute. And say you might have one on camera here. Mississippi River is right here. So we're right by the river. Let's see if I can get over there and show you. But there's a lot of companies, so I don't know if I can get back in there. Let's see. Yeah. Right past those trees is the river. This is a pawn shop I used to always go in and try to find collectible CDs and stuff. Stuff to add to my collection, video games and things like that. I've never been down this street. Let's see how close we can get to the river. Not close at all. Let's explore. Never been back here. Ooh, a cool wagon. Ooh, we can go farther back here. I think at this time the river's starting to turn a little bit, so give me a second. My receiver turned off, so I can't see my screen right now. So, wait for this to pop up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So yeah, at this point the river's probably starting to turn a little bit. That's why it's getting farther and farther away from the road. Yeah, you can go back there. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Ooh, a choo-choo. And now it's gone. down here was when we lived on Juniata. There was a rock club down here all of us would come to. What's going on? Let me over. Called Metal's Edge. Oh, and Ron's roller rink was down here too, where we would go skating sometimes. That was right back here. This is where we went skating. Back when people did go skating. Oh, I want to go back out here. The Metal's Edge closed down after it flooded because the river's right there. And then here it is. Here's the building. And then there's a runoff into the Mississippi here called River de Pear. We always call it a River de Pew because it's where the sewage goes into. But this building right here used to be Metal Edge Club. We go see bands at. This was the parking lot. And this is River de Pew. Right here. And so the Mississippi's right down there. Why does this act funny on? There's a casino down there. I've never been down to that casino. It's coming right for us. Anyway, there ain't much here. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm done clicking. I gotta get back to work. I do got history right here at this 7-Eleven. So when I was staying at the Pennsylvania place in the attic, I was dating this girl who lives down this way, and this was one of the psycho girls. Well, the psycho girl who ended up breaking my window and writing on my car with lipstick and breaking out my tail lights and stuff. And she'd call and wanted to come over and get her stuff, some of her stuff from that she just conveniently left behind. You know how crazy people do. And there was no way I was going to have her come over, so I just put it all in a bag, and I'm like going to just drive it down and drop it on her porch. Well, when I was driving by here, I saw a cop from the area. So I pulled in and I asked him, would he escort me down there so I can just give her the bag and there's no problems. So he escorted me down to her house, and she got pissed because I came with somebody and didn't come by myself, because who knows what was going to happen if I came by myself, but made sure I protected myself, and nothing would come back on me if she tried to do anything stupid. So you never know with crazy people, man. You could wind up dead the next day. So I don't even remember what street or anything that was. I've blocked all that crap out of my memory. Alright, anyway. We're in the county now. This is actually like Lee May. So, alright, I'm done. Alright, thanks for coming along on this journey. See y'all in the next video.